Hi and hello guys. So it has almost been like 3 months since Google released their voice hat through the Magpie magazine. So after this, we haven't received any official word on the retail availability. So just for the sake of the Pi community and for those others who don't have the voice hat, I have come up with this project for helping you build your own voice hat. Minus, of course, the server controls. So I have not added the server controls, and apart from that you can do whatever you want pretty much as you do with your voice hat. So today in this video I will show you as to how you can make your own voice hat. And before I start, how about a small demo to build your confidence that you are not wasting your time here today. Okay Google, how is the weather now?
Currently in Waterford it's 15 degrees Celsius and partly cloudy. The forecast tonight is 14 and partly cloudy.
Okay Google, what is on my calendar for Saturday?
On Saturday, there's only one thing. It starts at 8 a.m. and the title is Run.
Okay Google, how is the traffic to Dublin?
My apologies. I don't understand.
Okay Google, how is the traffic to Dublin?
On your way to Dublin, traffic is light as usual. It is 1 hour 56 minutes by car.
Okay Google, when is the next bank holiday?
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that yet.
Okay Google, what is today?
It is Wednesday, the 23rd of August 2017.
Deconstructing the Google's voice hat, I was able to identify most of the components, and in order to maintain the same device tree overlay as the voice hat, even we need to use the same set of components, and fortunately enough they are readily available in the adafruit store. So here is the list of the components that we need for making this build. So first up is the audio amplifier. So for this we'll be making use of adafruit I2S 3 watt class D amplifier breakout board, that is max 98357A. So next comes the stereo mics configuration. So for this we'll be again using adafruit I2S MEMS microphone breakout board. And lastly, the most critical part is the EEPROM. So this EEPROM is what holds the boards or the hats device tree overlay, and this is what makes the Pi recognize the. So we need to replicate the same device tree overlay of the voice hat in our custom voice hat. So we need a prototyping board with the EEPROM built in, and so we'll be making use of the adafruit perma proto hat with EEPROM. So there are two versions of this prototyping board, the one with EEPROM and one without the EEPROM. The one without the EEPROM is pretty much useless for our project, and so we need the one with the EEPROM, so please make sure to get that. And again I will attach all these links, product links and purchase links in the description of this video. So next step is to solder header pins onto all these boards, so I'll not be going through the soldering process. So after you solder the header onto the perma proto or prototyping, check for the continuity between the write protect pad and the ground terminal on the board. So if this write protect pin is not grounded, then we may not be able to write the EEPROM file onto the chip. So just make sure that the write protect pin or the pad is grounded. So after making sure that the write protect pin or pad is grounded, mount the perma proto board onto the Pi and boot into the Raspbian operating system. So the first step after logging into the Raspbian is to clone the project folder from GitHub. Open up the terminal and then paste the command that I have given in the description of this video. and then execute. So once the project is cloned, open up the project folder, and inside the project folder, like any other project of mine, you will have a instructions file containing the detailed steps that you need to execute in order to successfully accomplish this project. So the first step of burning the device tree overlay onto the EEPROM is to enable some support in the boot/config.txt file. So open the boot/config.txt file and then uncomment all the parameters that I have mentioned in the file. So after you uncomment all the parameters, you need to add a new parameter for the I2C to work. So copy that and paste it in the terminal. And now press Ctrl X to save, Y, and then enter to save. So after this, you need to reboot your system for the I2C changes to take effect. So after rebooting your system, open up a terminal again and again the instructions file. So now let us make a quick check of the device tree folder. So this will show you that there isn't any hat folder pre-existing. The presence of a hat folder will show that the device is whether detected or not. So since the hat folder is not there, it means that the device is not detected. And next, move into the EEPROM utilities directory. So this directory is also within the project folder. And next step is to make the EEPROM flashing tool executable. So copy the command sudo chmod +x eepflash.sh and then make it executable. So next step is to actually flash the EEPROM file onto the chip. So if you see here, I have given the file name which is the voicehat.eep, and the T equal to represents the type of the chip. So that is the same as the original voice hat. So now if you open the EEPROM utilities folder, you can see the EEPROM file. So I have generated this from the device tree overlay information of the original voice hat. So now press enter to execute and it will prompt you choose yes. Now we get a done notification, which means that the device tree has been successfully written onto the EEPROM chip. So next step is to make the hat recognizable by the Pi. So in order to do that, we need to update and then install the latest Raspbian kernels. Say if you are using the Raspbian stretch, the kernels will be already updated. Say if you are using any older versions of Raspbian JC, so you need to update the Raspbian to the latest Raspberry Pi kernels. So after the updation of the kernels, we need to reboot the system for the changes to take effect. So after rebooting into the Pi, move into the device tree directory, and now if you see the contents of the device tree directory, you will have a folder called hat, which shows that our custom voice hat is being detected. And move into the hat folder using the cd command and then list the contents of the hat folder using the ls command, and now you will see a varied number of files. You can check the contents of these files using the sudo nana command. So it is being given name, and then you can check the contents of the product file, and now this is being called AIY voice hat. So this is because we are using the same device tree overlay as the original AIY voice hat, and so that is why it is being called so. So next step is to install the audio configuration scripts. Move into the project directory and then into the folder containing the scripts. Copy the path file, open up a terminal, and then move into the folder using the cd command, And by now you must have guessed the drill. You need to make the scripts executable using the chmod command and then execute the scripts. So you need to execute the custom voice hat.sh script until you get the .bak notification. So next step is to make the install i2s.sh executable and then execute the script. So this will add critical parameters to the boot config.txt file. So now let us check the modifications made. Sudo nano boot config.txt, and if you just scroll down right down to the bottom, you can see the device tree overlay for the Google Voice hat added. So now you can close and shut down the Pi. So next I will take you through the wiring schematic. You can have that as a reference and wire the microphone and amplifier boards onto the perma proto. After that you can start using it like your AIY voice hat. So before I go into the details of the wiring, just a small tip I felt I should give at this point. So if you take a look at the back of the perma proto board, you can see that all these solder pads are vertically connected, at least most of them. So this really limits the number of connections that you make. So something which is more critical than that is the mounting of the amplifier board. If you take a look at the rear of the amplifier board, you have the pins protruding from the header pins, as well as the pins protruding from the terminal block. So when you are mounting it on the perma proto board, due to the vertical connections in the prototyping board, there is all the more chances of the connections being short circuited. And also you have a nice space above the EEPROM, which is very ideal for mounting the amplifier board. And so in order to isolate, I would suggest you to add a dab of hot glue over the terminal block pinouts on the amplifier board. So this will prevent any short circuiting and will keep the board safe. So now if you take a look at the wiring schematic, nothing very difficult. It is pretty straightforward. So one thing that you need to bear in your mind is that the MEMS microphones should be powered using the 3.3 volt pin, and the amplifier board should be powered using the 5 volt pin. So there are certain connections which are being shared by all the three boards. They are the LRCL and BCLK and the ground. So the LRCL, the BCLK and the ground are being shared by all these three boards. And in order to enable the stereo configuration of the mic, in one of the mics you need to connect the select pin to 3 volts, and in the other mic you need to connect the select pin to the ground. And apart from that, you have all these data lines of the boards separated from each other. So you have one data line for the microphone and one data line for the amplifier. The data lines of the individual mics are interconnected, and so you just have one data line for both these mics. I have given this wiring schematic with a reference to the Raspberry Pi GPIO layout. You can use the same for connecting the boards to the perma proto board. So once you make the connections, so it will take at least couple of hours. It took me about an hour and a half. So after you make these connections, you can mount it on your Pi and give it a run with a Google Assistant. So now let me just show you. So let me just skip my soldering part and just directly move over to the Google Assistant demo. And for installation of the Google Assistant, I have already made a couple of videos. You can refer to them. I'll link them up in the card above as well as in the description below. Okay Google, how is the weather now?
Currently in Waterford it's 15 degrees Celsius and partly cloudy. The forecast tonight is 14 and partly cloudy.
Okay Google, what is on my calendar for Saturday?
On Saturday, there's only one thing. It starts at 8 a.m. and the title is Run.
Okay Google, how is the traffic to Dublin?
My apologies. I don't understand.
Okay Google, how is the traffic to Dublin?
On your way to Dublin, traffic is light as usual. It is 1 hour 56 minutes by car.
Okay Google, when is the next bank holiday?
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that yet.
Okay Google, what is today?
It is Wednesday, the 23rd of August 2017.
Okay, so that is pretty much it guys. So I hope that you find this project really useful and informative, and if you feel so, please subscribe for more such videos. Thank you.